What's up? My name is Chras. I'm a DJ and producer based out of Florida, and this is my approach to content creation and social media as an upcoming artist. So to give some context, about 3 weeks ago on July 14th, I started to post a lot more content on my socials and really put a larger focus on content creation and building a community on social media. Recently, I have been doing a lot of thinking about where I've wanted to take my musical project. I'm very fortunate that I've spent years building, my skills actually creating music to get to a point where I feel comfortable with the music that I'm making now. I actually really love my music. I listen to it all the time. Some of my tracks I've listened to like easily over 500 times since finishing them. It's crazy. I listen almost every day. But regardless, I've gotten to a point now where I'm comfortable with music and thinking about kind of my goals as an artist and where I want to take my career to. It was time for me to put a lot more focus into content creation alongside music production. So I just kind of wanted to make a video to talk about my thought process with that. So this is a new YouTube series that I'm going to be starting. Right now, the goal is once a month to be posting YouTube videos, just kind of going into the back end of where my project is, showing you guys a little bit more about myself and my thought process. My goal with these is to build, honestly, transparency. I love to get a back look at other artists, have artists talk about what they're doing with their careers. A lot of my time on YouTube, honestly, like consuming content is spent listening to artist interviews and just a lot of artists talking about why they're doing things and what they're doing. So I wanted to do my own thing and hopefully it's insightful to some people and can help somebody out. So the goal eventually is to make this series more common and more often. But for now, we're going to shoot for once a month. And then in the future, once everything gets rolling, hopefully I'll be posting a lot more often. And if we do get lucky enough to start touring, obviously I do want to make a lot of content specifically for YouTube just on the touring alone, because I love that type of content and I would love to be able to create my own, put my spin on it. So back to what I was saying, I've basically realized if I want to make a career out of this, I know how important social media is. I know as a music producer, I want to focus mostly on music production, and I'm sure a lot of you do as well, whoever may be watching this. Content creation, unfortunately, is just kind of the world that we live in now, and it's really the only way that you're going to make it unless you are like the best music producer in the world. There's really no way that you're going to make it if you aren't doing content creation, and that's something that I've realized is really important. So that's why I've been ramping up a lot. If you've been following along, you've seen me post almost every day. So in the last 3 weeks, I've only missed 1 day of posting. And that's been something that's been a goal of mine, is to post nearly every day. I'm not going to be super strict about it because I know missing a day or two here and there really isn't that big of a deal, as long as I don't let that become a trend and then miss a week and then it turns into a month, etc., etc. So my approach to this primarily has been to focus on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. Those are the big three I think that are super important right now. Specifically as well, YouTube Shorts is so much better than I thought it was going to be. It's doing incredible, genuinely. I did not think it would do nearly as well as the other two, but it's actually outperforming Instagram. So basically what my thought process is I want to make sure that I'm creating content that is easily transferable between the three platforms. I actually post the same thing on all three every day. But essentially my goal was to create content that reflects who I am as a person and my taste in music. A big thing with me and why I'm doing music in the first place is genuinely, I just love this music so much. Electronic music, house music, techno, trance, everything, melodic techno. It's just honestly like the greatest thing to me. There's nothing in this world that I've found that makes me as happy and feel as much joy as music does. So really my goal is to create something that I can share with other people to give them that same feeling. And also just for myself too. Like I said, I listen to myself all the time. I just love it. So that's why I'm doing this. And so I'm trying to build really a community of people who are like-minded in that. I'm not trying to build like this like cool lifestyle fake community. I'd rather build, something where it's a lot of people who just absolutely love music. So when I'm creating my content, that's kind of what I'm trying to focus on. And that's why I'm sharing other music too. If you take a look at my socials, you might think it's a little bit strange, I feel like, because basically what I'm doing is every couple days I have, like one of my own songs that I'm posting, and then like maybe 2 days later I'm posting somebody else's song, and I'm saying like, here's a song that I think you need if you're a DJ, and here's why I think you need it. Just give like a brief reason, like, oh, this bass line hits really hard, it'd be great for this time in your set, whatever. And the reason I'm doing that is because I mean, like I said, I love the music and I want to share other people's music. I think supporting other people is so great of an opportunity for them too. Like, essentially I'm taking somebody's song that I love and I'm just talking about it, and it's getting in front of more people for free, which if somebody did with my music, I would be unbelievably grateful. And my big thing with that too is I don't want to post, like Martin Garrix or the huge artists for those types of posts, because it's a lot more valuable to, one, people who might find that content to find something that is actually new to them in a song that they would actually like from like a smaller to mid-tier artist, and two, it helps me to build a connection with some other people in the community as well that are smaller to mid-tier artists. So it really is just a place of, I love this music, I want to share as much of it as I can, and then I'm splicing in my own songs as well because I love the music that I'm making and I want to share my music. And honestly, the feedback that I've been getting on the songs that I've been posting has been unbelievable. I really can't even fathom how that's happened. I've been producing for 12-ish years now, on and off, and, taking it seriously for a couple years. And to get to a point where people are saying like, oh, I need this released right now, or this is like an incredible song. And like, it's so strange to me. I'm not used to that at all, because I still, as much as I love my music, it doesn't feel like I should be getting that attention, if that makes sense. I don't know, like, it's just it's so crazy to me. So if you're anybody who has said anything like that, genuinely thank you so much. Now, so what I've done is essentially I got a whiteboard calendar, and the reason I did this is because it's helped me organize unbelievably well. So essentially I have a calendar on my wall that shows all of the dates for the month and the type of content that I want to post that day. So if you're somebody who's, having trouble getting into content creation and keeping consistently, what I would definitely recommend is creating a calendar for yourself and just writing out. I literally wrote out the whole month of August already for exactly what I want to post every day. And it did take some time to do, but what I've focused on is I have definite things that are going to be released on certain days. For example, I have my new remix of Human by John Summit coming out this Thursday. I believe that is the 7th. And that song, I have it slotted in before anything else on the calendar. I know it's going to come out that day. So essentially I've put that in. I know I'm going to release a monthly mix at the end of the month, so I've put that in. And then also I'm going to be releasing a playlist soon for basically Spotify, and I've put that in of the days that I'm going to update those. So that's like 4 different dates of the month that I have filled out. And then essentially I'm just writing in around that what I need to post when that corresponds with those, and then filling in the blanks. So for the Human remix, for example, I knew that I wanted to post about 2 weeks worth of content before the remix came out to start posting it, or start promoting it, pardon. And what I've done essentially is I don't want to post every day about it, because then it becomes too much. So I've spaced it like every other day or every other day, essentially. So that equates to like 6 posts or something in those 2 weeks before that comes out. So like this week I've got 3 posts scheduled. Today I posted one, the day I'm recording this before this YouTube video goes up. And then I'm posting another one midweek and another one once the song drops. And then I'm posting another 2 posts next week as well to basically talk about that song. So that fills out a good number of days. And essentially in between those, I'm just trying to fill in what I can. So this YouTube video is actually taking up one of those spots. So I'm posting this YouTube video. I'm going to try to find some clip that I can take out of this to post on my socials as well. So that fills up an extra day this week. And then basically I'm filling in the blanks with other people's music that I love and want to share. And then that fills my whole week. And I'm doing that for the whole month, right? So that way I can fill out my whole month, and I kind of know exactly what content that I want to film before it actually comes around time for me to post that. The great thing is the type of content that I've found to do is not super complicated. So a lot of the content that I'm doing is me talking about music specifically, and then just letting the song play over a DJ mixer while I dance behind it, because I actually do like the songs and it genuinely makes me want to dance. But essentially the way that I'm doing it, I can batch produce content, multiple videos at one time, and that makes it a lot easier for me. Because the problem is with pushing content creation so much is that it does take a lot of time away from being able to produce music, which does kind of suck, because I do want to put a lot more time into music, but it is at a point where if I want to make a career out of this, I need to also do content creation. You know what I mean? So that's just kind of the thought process I have. I'm very lucky. I have about 6 IDs that I'm sitting on right now that I love, that are all between 50 to 90% done. So I have a lot of music very close to done that I'm getting ready to finish up. And then I also have a couple ideas that are very early as well. So I have a good amount of music sitting, and that's why I feel confident in being able to do both content creation and music production at the same time to grow and hopefully get somewhere. But I would say, if you are a music producer looking to get into this type of thing, if you don't have at least a couple songs ready to go, I wouldn't start posting about your music, because the worst thing that you could do is post for 2 weeks about a song that you're going to release, put that song out, have it get decent attention, and then wait 4 months before you're putting out another song. And then you're basically having to just make up content for 3 months of what are you going to post, because you don't have anything of your own to post. And like I said, I have filler content that I can put in, but the only reason that works is because I have my own things scheduled as well to be able to have enough to where it's not only filler content. So it's definitely important to actually have a back catalog. And that was something I didn't have for a long time until recently, earlier this year. I never really had a back catalog. So I'm lucky enough to have one now, and that's kind of where we're at. So overall, I know this video has been kind of all over the place and me just kind of rambling about different topics, but hopefully somebody finds this insightful. I don't really like to script my content. I really just kind of go off the top. I'm very fortunate in when I was younger and a kid, I used to make YouTube videos about Call of Duty and gaming and stuff. So I feel comfortable on camera and able to do this, which if you're somebody just getting into this for the first time, I'm telling you, it will definitely take a little bit of time to get comfortable on camera and talking into a mic. So if you're very uncomfortable and you think you look really awkward, just know that you got to practice. Just like music production to get better, it takes time to figure it out. But regardless, overarching, goals and everything that I'm trying to do here is right now, I really just want to focus on putting as much content out as I can. Not really more than one per day. I know I could just spam content onto TikTok because that platform is crazy. I could post 6 times a day and probably grow really fast, but I don't want to grow really fast. Honestly, I'm more so trying to build a community of people, like I said, that love music and want to connect with the music that I like and connect with my music. And it's really important to me that I do build a solid foundation. I honestly think if I went viral right now, it would end my career before it even started. I do know that there are people that get really lucky and can go viral and play off of that, but I don't think that somebody like me would be in a position to take advantage of that. And honestly, a lot of people I think chase that for the wrong reason, going viral and following trends really closely. I don't want to just copy the trends that people are doing. I do understand with social media now, you got to put like a really solid tagline at the beginning of your content so that somebody will stick around. And I think the way that I'm doing that is a lot more toned down from the TikTok-y type of like here, like POV type stuff. I don't want to follow that same trend because it doesn't feel authentic to me. So I'm trying to find a balance of things, that are authentic to me, but also catches people's attention, but isn't going to go too crazy viral, because I would rather have small growth over time and build something meaningful to where when inevitably I feel like everybody at some point will go semi-viral if you do this consistently, to the point where once that happens, that I'm ready for it and I have a solid foundation so that I can push further along into the next steps and be prepared for what's to come. So that's one of my main overarching goals, is just making sure I follow that kind of strategy. And also basically I'm just trying to keep it as authentic as possible. Like I said, I really would love to connect with people and build a community, and that's why I'm trying to be so real, and that's why I'm doing a YouTube video like this, is because I want people to know more about me, and I would love to like be able to connect with people. If I'm ever fortunate enough to start touring, I genuinely would love to meet as many people that come out as possible. I think that is such a cool thing, and when I meet artists that I love, it's like so appreciative to me when they take the time to actually talk and have a conversation. So that's something that's really, really important to me. I don't want to be just somebody who, you go see and then just dips into the back and things like that. But yeah, that's kind of going to do it for today. Hopefully my rambling has said something to somebody. I really appreciate anybody who takes the time to listen, and if you're listening to my music and everything like that, I really appreciate you. I do just want to quickly go over this too. I don't really focus on numbers as much. I'm not a huge analytics guy. Like I said, I'm not really trying to grow like as quickly as possible and put like the perfect type of content out for numbers based things. But just for anybody who's curious, in the 3 weeks that I've been posting, I've grown about 100 followers on TikTok, about 40 followers on Instagram, and about 60 subscribers on YouTube. And that is 187 total as of recording today on TikTok, 655 on Instagram, and 162 on YouTube. So it definitely is something that does take time, but what I'm noticing is pretty much every day that I'm posting, I'm consistently getting at least a couple on every platform. And that's what I think is important. So if you're looking to get into this, just be consistent with it. That's what I'm realizing is more important than anything. Some videos are going to get 2,000 plus views. Some videos are going to get 500 views. Some might not get any, that's just how it goes. But anyways, thank you so much to anybody who's listened. This is a series. I'm going to make more comment in the future. Like I said, probably going to ramp it up to every 2 weeks eventually, but for now it's going to be every month that I'm going to do a check-in and kind of just talk about where my thoughts are and what's changed over the last month with what I'm doing. Next month I might talk about like my goals with music or record labels or something like that, versus this month a big focus for me has been content creation. So I just wanted to get on here and talk about that a little bit. But anyways, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you, and we'll see you soon.